Hi everyone, welcome to ragTech, the place for bytes and banter. My name is Victoria, I'm a solutions engineer.
Hi, I'm Natasha. I'm a software engineer. Oh, and Saloni's frozen, but Saloni is a software developer, and together we are ragTech. And don't worry about Saloni; she's coming back soon. Her Wi-Fi has just been quite intermittent.
Previously, we did an app review episode where Saloni introduces her app and we kind of comment on it. And I thought it's really good that we tried that and we wanted to do it again. So this time, we'll have Natasha to introduce us your project. Very excited for today's episode.
In the last app review episode, Saloni presented on her app, which was a nutrition analysis app that was powered by OpenAI, which was really cool. Mine's not as cool as that. I didn't use OpenAI or any AI powered technologies, but it's just a very simple but also like really fun little project that I did for myself. I think about a year ago or maybe 2 years ago. It's basically my own web folio or web portfolio. So this is how it looks like. So as you can see, I bought my own domain name for the handle that I use
Nice.
across my socials. I will be taking both of you guys through what my app looks like and the little features that I'm kind of proud of. I actually am intending to do kind of like a not really so much of a revamp, but I think it's timely that I look at little portions that I intend to revise since, I have different things that I want to showcase in my career and about myself. I love both of your feedback on it because I think both of you haven't really seen it before. I haven't like purposely like kind of shown it to people. Here we are on the landing page. And as you can see, there's a little avatar of myself and my cat, and a little dialogue box.
So
And
cute.
when you click on the dialog box, okay, here it says, "Hey there, I'm Natasha and a software engineer, tech podcaster, and tech community lead." So yeah, when you click OK, then it's the next dialogue and it's just more intro. But basically, I think you can tell from this vibe where I was getting like inspiration from. I
Yeah.
really wanted it to be like slightly gamified. Like I really enjoyed Harvest Moon as a child, which is basically a an older version of Stardew Valley. I've never played Stardew Valley, but I really loved Harvest Moon, and I just really wanted to showcase like a more fun side of myself through my webfolio. Because like I think my LinkedIn is already like professional-ish looking, right? I think in my endeavor as a techie, as well as somebody who talks a lot about like different social and community issues, I really wanted a more lighthearted and casual spin on it. I'm more approachable, and people don't take me like incredibly seriously. Kind of like our podcast, I guess. Like we're trying to make talking about tech and the realities of life in tech more accessible and more authentic and relatable. So I guess that was what I was going for, and that's why I decided, okay, let's make it like kind of cute and gamey.
I love it.
So you love. I knew you would love
I
it
already
because,
love
like,
it.
yeah, because you're a Pokemon fan and you play so many games. Like, if you guys
Yeah, and
don't
the
know,
pixel art.
Gloria like started off like her app development journey with like more game dev stuff, right? Like, you kind
Yeah.
of dabble here and there. Like, you can go to a blog and then you'll be able to read her journey and her earlier projects. One of them was like a Pokemon inspired project, right?
My projects are always so Pokemon based, so I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
it. It's really it reminds me of like those pixel art games. So I know Harvest Moon is
yeah.
a pixel art style, so
Mm, mm,
I love
mm.
how you can recreate that feel. And
Mm, mm,
I
mm.
know you haven't introduced your entire website, but I would like to ask, how did you like learn how to draw pixel art, and what app do you
Um,
use, what program to draw it?
Yeah. So I drew the one on the left on Clip Studio Art. I think I had like a phase where I was drawing a lot. I actually have like my own webtoon comic. Oh my gosh, let me see if I can
You
pull it up.
have assets? You created your own assets? Oh.
Yeah, like, I had like a whole like drawing phase. Oh my god.
Ah! Oh my
So
god,
I
amazing.
it's like I had this period of my life where I broke my ankle and I
Oh,
was extremely depressed and I couldn't move, I didn't have anything to do, and I don't know why like coding just didn't bring me joy at that point of time. And then I went into digital art and I started drawing a lot. This one
Oh
is
my
about
god,
my
girl.
fostering journey, and I have like a slightly more uh serious-ish, sci-fi-ish one.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
I
god.
insane
That is
drawings.
amazing.
yeah,
Oh
I think
my
like
god.
this was around the same time that I also created the webfolio, and I was just like, okay, so I have like two different drawing styles here, and I just wanted to introduce like a third drawing style, and I was like, I really like pixel art. I want to see like how people do that. So yeah, I
Wow.
use like the same platform Clip Studio Art to just kind of draw, um and this time like I had to do it pixel by pixel. I did like get like the little Harvest Moon avatar. I used it as like inspiration and I overlaid, but then I put like what I thought were my own personal features on it. So that's the one on the left side. And actually when you want to create a sprite, you have the entire texture consists of like left, right, center, and stuff. So actually, the landing page used to be like a whole thing where you could move my sprite, like use arrow keys and
Ooh.
then move up and down.
Gosh.
Yeah, but then I realized it was actually pretty bad UX wise to navigate around.
It's kind of cool though. How about like using arrow keys on the keyboard itself to move?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like
So
more like a game.
I could.
Yeah.
It was actually
Oh,
using arrow keys.
oh, okay, okay.
And like if you use it on phone, you would be pressing arrow keys on the phone. But it was
Oh.
just like at first I was like, oh, locations could be like basically the tabs of my web folio. But then I realized it was
Mm,
just kind of like clunky and the responsiveness. I had to deal with a lot of
mm,
web responsiveness issue, device width, and all of that. And after a while, I was just like, okay, let's just make it clean and simple. Otherwise, I would never ever like publish this. So, yes, that's where I was at. So the left side, I actually had like the entire sprite texture out, left, right, center. But this is the front one, so you can see that this is static. And then the one on the right of my cat Pip. I live on my own with my two cats, Pip and Poe. This is my cat Pip. Poe isn't here virtually yet, but she soon will be because I never got to drawing her when she came along. But Pip came first before Poe.
That's so
cute.
sweet.
Meow.
This is so cute.
Say thanks, Pip. Our virtual home is here. It is in the middle of a refresh, but feel free to explore. So the interesting part about like this one is it's not drawn on with digital art, but I actually like mapped the pixels out, like coded the SVG out one by one because I wanted to try to create a new style of animation. It's like an SVG on its own. Basically, I created a loop to loop through like the
Mm-mm.
different like the closed eyes and everything. And I had like a whole thing where you could change the color of the cat and stuff like that. People could play with it. Yeah, I'll show you
Oh,
guys
I
later on the
actually
code.
remember interacting with that. I think
Oh
you
really?
posted it like when you first came on, and then you showed us your website, and I remember it was customizable. You could
Yes,
design your cat.
yes. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
so
It's
Oh
that
my
one.
god,
nice.
Actually,
that was so
did I
amazing. Why didn't
remove
you remove
it?
it?
I was cleaning up like just a while ago. Oh
Ah,
my gosh.
yes,
Okay,
Micro
okay, okay.
Mile. Yes, yes, this
Yeah,
one.
so there used to be another tab here called projects, but I removed it because like otherwise, as you can see, if it's on the phone, it went over. And then I just didn't have
Mm.
time at that point of time to like think about like what's a good way to like do that. So but obviously as you hear, so actually yeah, you could change the eyes and you could change the fur. That is not brown. That's a red. You know what? Like, I don't know. You could change the like the hit pattern, but this is very biased to it's how Pip looks, so I can't really create Poe from this. But yeah,
Oh.
basically, okay, I'll put this back on. Like, I need like a way to put it back on. I just haven't really thought about it. Hence the need to do a revamp, right? And that's why we're doing the
Mm-mm.
review today. But yes, that is how I kind of like created like the cat. So even though both are sprites, they're created very differently. One is like drawn and then like set on a texture. Like I really wanted it to also like move around at some point. It was toggleable with like arrow keys. But I was just like, okay, whatever. Minimum viable product, right? Just put it out there. And but this one is code generated basically. Yeah. So I guess
Love
that
it.
somebody wanted to create NFTs. Yeah. And then the dialogue box by itself was also pretty fun coding it because it surprisingly required like the text by itself, because it's like typewriter. Okay, see, like sometimes it glitches. I still haven't like found out why, but to kind of like create that function for it to appear character by character was actually quite a challenge by itself. But
Is it
yeah,
just CSS, or did you also use JavaScript to make the type by character by character?
what did I use?
Nowadays, like there's so many libraries to create these kind of effects. I don't even remember when I did something so lower level
Yeah, so
where we had to
another
come up
thing
with
that I
such
did,
things.
yeah, on the more coding, like the technical side of the house, my challenge to myself was like I really wanted to go as low level as possible, as raw as possible. I think there was some
Ooh.
point it was like pure vanilla like JS, but then I was just like, okay, yeah, okay, done with the experiment. I should probably just code it in React. This whole thing, there's also another thing. At that point, I was very into mono repositories, like the concept of like putting everything in one repository, despite having like different features that are incredibly different. So for audience members who don't really understand the concept of mono repositories and like poly repositories, basically, oh wait, actually, at some point I did like a blog post on this. Yeah,
Wow.
Nice. Perfect.
but
Perfect.
basically, if it's like working in a team and your entire team has one Google Drive versus your entire team has like various Google Drives divided into different departments. So this is the one with like a singular Google Drive, and then this is the one with like um, different Google Drives. And technically, the one on the right is more commonplace and typical, so that it's I don't want to say easier to collaborate. I would say it's just more conventional because it depends on the project itself. But I at that point I think I found out that Google, the entire organization used only one like mono repository to put their code in. So there was only one like Google Drive. So I was just like, I'm gonna explore this too. So yeah, that's kind of like what I did here for the people who can recognize it. And that was also another thing that I wanted to like revamp actually, because now I have a lot of like fun little packages. Like the UI itself was just like, oh, it'd be fun to kind of share it and see if like other people wanted to contribute or like, I don't know, like use it. And then I also had like the mini. I did. It wasn't very creative to the name, but the mini me is basically the animation of the sprite. So yeah,
Mm.
I was thinking like, oh, I kind of want to like make these as individual repositories on GitHub so that other people could like use it too or like contribute to it. So now
Mm.
I guess I'm also realizing the pros and cons of a mono repository. It didn't make like working with it very quickly because I could just change like code within the same repository. I also use Turbo Repo to manage the entire mono repository. That made it really easy. But yes, that was like something that I wanted to change. But this is a good segue into this part
This
of
page.
my app. This I
Mm.
wanted it to be like a little diary, like a scrapbook. Um, so that's kind of like what I did, and I stayed with the whole pixel art form. This was actually really hard to do because I had to take into account device responsiveness. So you can see like on the phone, at first it was just like the landscape orientation of the diary that I was like, oh, then you can't really like click and see anything. But then after that, I was like, oh, I can just kind of
Mm.
yeah, portrait mode it. But okay,
Mm.
obviously you can see this is kind of glitchy because I didn't take into account how much I should truncate for different device widths. So probably something I have to work on. And as you can see, I had the whole like phase where I was very inspired by Victoria and her tech blogging. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I wrote this and I was like, oh yeah, there'll be a second part, there'll be a third part to be continued, and I never continued. This was
It's okay.
September
It
2023. Yeah, I don't know how you have the diligence, like Victoria, to
it,
like.
it gets easier the more you write. So I know after my first article, it took me a month to like start another one. So it always takes
Mm,
time. Yeah, you just have to tell yourself, I'm gonna do it again. Give yourself a virtual deadline. Like you must have it done by that date.
okay. Part two is
Something.
going to be
Discipline
like
is all I heard.
2024.
Discipline.
Oh, I have like I have discipline, but in a very weird way. So I'm like reliable, but not consistent. If that makes sense. Like I'm the type of person who's like, you give me a deadline, I will meet it. But don't. But if you're checking on me every single day to see if I'm working on it, you will realize that I am not. So yeah, I just realized that about myself, and I was like, oh, this is so hard to explain to people, and to like, people want the assurance that you're working on something, but at the same time, my energy levels are always like, ugh. So you can see this entire app was like one burst, one sprint, and then I never touched it like 1 year later. But now I want to touch it. I want to have the diligence that Victoria has. Yeah. Also,
Do you want
another
us to
fun
help
thing.
you? We
Yes,
can
I
give
think
you a
I.
deadline. We can help you. we can
I think I need accountability so bad. Like I think like we do really well on this podcast because like I have you guys to keep me like accountable. We have deadlines and I'm accountable to y'all's. But when it comes to my own personal stuff, it's just like I'm waiting for like that burst of energy and I'll just do it. And then after a while I'll
Yeah.
get overwhelmed and I'll be like,
I think for side projects it's often like that because we'll be like so preoccupied with our main occupation, like our day job,
that's true.
that sometimes at night, like we want to do the 9 to 5 and then 5 to 9, like what Saloni has said before. But sometimes that 5 to 9 is hard, like because after the 9 to 5, your brain is just very exhausted. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you just need
Like
to be really like disciplined to like push yourself to do it. But I know it's very hard. Yeah.
exactly. I know we talk a lot in our podcast about how
Mhm.
good it is to have side projects. Even when you have like a full time job, like it's always good to have side projects in case you need to have your resume ready at any point of time. But the reality of it is, it's kind of hard to stay consistent and committed to a side
Mhm.
project because you're not getting paid for it. That's one, so you don't have
Mhm.
the monetary incentive to keep you accountable. And then two, it's just like, I don't know, it's just for your own learning purpose, so you get
Yeah.
to pace yourself. And I think the third one is that, especially when you have a job, or even if you don't have a job, you're also probably actively recruiting. It's very hard to like find time for
Mhm.
that. So I think time
Definitely.
that Saloni mentioned is really the discipline. Like that's one. To like, I think for me it's realizing the kind of cadence that I work at, and not everybody has the same type of cadence. I think I was like really hard up about myself, thinking that okay, I need discipline for. If discipline for other people means keeping to a routine like posting and writing every week, let's try to do that. And I realized like, but I have incredibly fluctuating like energy levels and capacities. um Keeping to like that kind of timeline like made me really stressed out and overwhelmed me even more, and enhanced the procrastination actually. So I
Mhm.
had to like understand how I worked and kind of adapt that to myself, see what motivates me. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's I'm still on that
definitely.
journey.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
like how like your side project, especially for this one, it really showcase your individuality and like it showcase your creativity as well. Because I think most people when they make side projects, they just follow tutorials, right? Like, oh, especially for beginners, it'll be like the classic to do app or the classic weather app. But then they
Mm-hmm.
don't make something that really showcases their identity or like something that they truly want to learn. I love how like you said you want to learn everything, so you did it low level. You did everything by JavaScript at first just so that you can learn something. And I think sometimes doing that instead of relying on libraries, that also kind of trains you in a way, because then you realize
Mm-hmm.
how are these libraries being written also,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
technically you're writing yourself kind of like a library, by writing the low level code. So
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I love how like all this, even though it took you a year, but it's like slow pace learning, like at
Mm.
your own pace, basically. And
Yeah,
then it's
exactly.
showcase of your personality and your identity. like all the
Yeah.
pixel art, and see like even some skills that developers think is like they think all you need to learn is like coding, like JavaScript skills. But see, I love how you incorporate your pixel art skills too, like your artistic abilities. It can also be part of like projects just like as technical as this. So
Yeah,
it's good to
honestly, it's
learn.
great to understand that part. Like because with pixel art, it requires an understanding of like with like the literal pixels that you work with, the bits that you work with, and then having to like literally draw with code was quite an exercise in appreciating that kind of and having the spatial awareness of the space that you're coding in. You know, like things have to be relative to each other, and especially in the SVG code format. I thought it was just like really fun to like explore that, and I'm so glad you brought up the point that you know. A personal side project, a web folio, or like even like a food nutrition analysis app like Saloni's, it should showcase like your individuality, because if we go back to using this as like tech recruitment material, like it should really speak to your tone of voice. It should really speak to like what you bring to the table, what kind of values you stand for. You're not just a software engineer like run of the mill, but what other things do you do? And I think for me, you're spot on in that I really wanted to like showcase that I was more than just like a software engineer, in the sense that I was also an artist, I guess. I was also fun and quirky, and more importantly, I like to learn different things, and I'm not scared to, take the long way around. And actually, a lot of these things were the long way around for the purpose of learning. Thank you for tuning in to part one of Natasha's app review on ragTech. In the next part, we'll be looking at how she used the free method of posting content for the blog feature of her webfolio, while Victoria will also chime in on her tech blogging expertise. We'll also be walking through the Linktree-esque feature on her webfolio, where she puts links to her socials and communities for easy access, while the team talks about the importance of personal branding in today's era of tech recruitment. As always, this was ragTech, the place for bites and banter. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, and comment, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye!